as a business owner, I'm constantly marketed to, and very rarely is the marketing, does it play out? It's, like for instance, if in my world, if I go and I tell someone, okay, I think we could do this and this and this, and we agree to it, and then I just don't do it, like I'd go to jail.
It's a problem.
Like I'd go to jail.
Yeah.
In my industry, you go to jail. Mm-hmm. Now, but I couldn't tell you the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've been through as a business owner for going on 30 years. If you look at Angie's, you look at all these promises that are made just all over the place. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like working with you is that you told me what you did, and I looked at it and I'm like, well, I wasn't doing that at the time. I dabbled in it. I didn't get any results, but I was pretty apparent that there was other people using it and it was working, especially in other industries. Honestly, I didn't know of anyone doing it in mine. On my social media feeds, I didn't see much of that. Of course I do now, because that's how it works.
Yep.
Now I'm into it, and it's it's been refreshing. You basically do what you say you're going to do. It's obviously there's some effort and an intention to improve.
Yep.
You do that for a while and things get better.
Yeah, we've been blessed, man. 6 years coming up here in June of being in business. This is my first business, so it's fun to really run and grow it and expand it and understanding like everyone from my home little town did concrete, so it's like, okay, I kind of want to do something a little bit different. Came across the marketing, started, and here we are today.
Engage with the world. You get a response, and that's what I did. So for me, starting a business was literally making a decision, and from that day forward, I had a business. Pretty much every step in business that's meaningful has got fear associated with it, especially early on. I remember specifically floating around 700, 800, 900,000. Of course, this is back in 2003, so that'd be like about $1.5 million, $2 million now, maybe 2.5, 3 million actually. But I was bored. Yep. And so I don't remember what book or whatever, but it just said, come up with a goal. And I leaned on numbers because numbers are easy. Mm-hmm. So I said, I want to do $2 million. Yep. Because that was way more than I did. I had no idea how to do it. But by coming up with that, and I forget all the words and all that, but when you have a goal, it's like a filter. And then all of a sudden you start seeing opportunities differently, right? Like you see, oh wait, that might get me to that 2 million. Right. Because you know what you did wasn't gonna, because you've been doing it. So from 2004 or 2005 to 2006, I went from 800,000 to 3.6 million.
Nice.
In 1 year.
All right, let's do this. Hey, what's up, guys? Justin K here with the Concrete Two Cities team coming at you live. We're in the middle of the United States with a very special, intelligent, wonderful individual by the name of Joe Crawford. Joe, it's a pleasure to introduce you to our community and really kind of sit down, talk mindset. This is why I wanted to do it, is I believe you have one of the best mindsets out of all the concrete guys that I've ever seen. And it makes a lot of sense to me because it's more of the quantum realm, like we were just kind of talking about. It's less linear thinking, and it's thinking bigger with what you have and what you've grown. Currently, you got 4 or 5 full-time guys, and it sounds like you do pretty well, and now it's time to get to the next level. But if you want to kind of introduce yourself, tell us where you started in the concrete industry, what got you into it, why you started it, and we'll just kind of kick everything off from there. And if we want to talk about the marketing at the end, we can.
Yeah, I kind of fell into concrete. I worked in the International Laborers Union and worked on a project that was for a general contractor I worked for, and we self-performed the concrete work. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was pretty cool. I knew the contract price on that project. Mm-hmm. It was like a $72 million project back in 2003. So probably a $150, $200 million project today. Wow. And I just saw the amount of work that a small group of us did, and that inspired me to just start my own business. And I was young, and I think I was 22 maybe.
Nice.
Something like that. And I was creative, and I was, I think I had some sort of a connection with the fact that when you engage with the world, you get a response, and that's what I did. So for me, starting a business was literally making a decision. And from that day forward, I had a business. But I didn't have any work because nobody knew, right? So I literally, that's how I did it. I went around and I put business cards out.
Nice.
I talked to a few people. And back then, if you got a small project that was $1,000, $2,000, to me that was a lot of money. I didn't have overhead, I didn't have expenses.
Yep.
And but I just kind of showed up with what I had to offer, and opportunity showed up in a small way, and then eventually a bigger way. And I needed someone to help me, and the way I had a brother-in-law that worked midnights at some sort of a factory situation. They made those when you have a speedometer, it has letters, and those letters are made by like a fabric that's it's like an imprint, like gold leaf or something. Anyway, he worked midnights. He didn't want to. I said, well, come work with me. And I replaced his salary, and which was $500 a week.
Nice.
Which back then it was a lot of money, and that was scary.
Right.
And pretty much every step in business that's meaningful has got fear associated with it, especially early on.
And I think that's a great point. So, like, what has been some of the best things that have helped you overcome that fear if you think back to like where you began? Because I'm guessing like a lot of guys just starting out, they get into that survival mode. It's like, how can I survive? How can I continue to make it? And then like eventually you get to a point where it's like you're safe, secure, but like what helped you go from
So the aim, I was real aware. I had a lot of awareness when I was young that most people were concerned with paying their rent and electric bill. And they didn't usually do much more than that. And that was because that's what they were concerned about. So the whole idea, aim high, and even if you hit low, that was something that I was really aware of early on. And what was the question again? The early part of the question?
What helped you get out of that survival mode? But what it sounds like to me is what you're focusing on.
There, a lot of things I think are like the path. The way forward is almost always an oxymoron. So success, in a way, is boring. But I have an overactive brain, and I would get bored quickly. And that's usually what made me take big jumps. I just got, I remember specifically floating around 700, 800, 900,000. Of course, this is back in 2003, so that'd be like about $1.5 million, $2 million now, maybe 2.5, 3 million actually. But I was bored, and so I don't remember what book or whatever, but it just said, come up with a goal, and I leaned on numbers because numbers are easy. So I said I want to do $2 million, because that was way more than I did. I had no idea how to do it, but by coming up with that, and I forget all the words and all that, but when you have a goal, it's like a filter. And then all of a sudden you start seeing opportunities differently, right? Like you see, oh wait, that might get me to that 2 million.
Right.
Because what you did wasn't gonna, because you've been doing it. So from 2004 or 2005 to 2006, I went from 800,000 to 3.6 million.
Nice.
In 1 year. And now that's not smart in business because I was like 27.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I did a Walmart Supercenter, Sam's Club combo.
Nice.
So both stores built at the same time, amongst a whole boatload of other work, because I didn't have the money. It's $20,000 a week in payroll back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to get money, so I did two things. Number one, I just doubled down and bid more work that would pay quicker. And then what I did was, again, I stepped out, so I was uncomfortable, and I knew that I needed things that I did not have. So that comes back to the same, like, how do you take that? How do you take that step? Yeah. And a lot of it was faith. Like, it's faith in things working out, faith in getting things that you don't have, things coming from the outside, which it was kind of, that's what makes it hard, is that it's not, you don't have control over it.
Right.
You're just kind of hoping it shows up.
Yep.
Well, I ate breakfast at a place every day. It's called J.W. Fillmore's, and there was this old group of guys that ate there too.
Yep.
And I just ate by myself, and this one guy would always stop by, and he asked what I was doing, told him about the project. One thing led to another, and I basically loan sharked myself. I got these guys to take money out of their retirement accounts.
Really?
And I gave them $1,000 on 10. So they gave me 10 grand. I gave them 11 on 60 days, and then 90, it was an extra 500. They thought that was a good deal. I thought it was a good deal. So we did it.
A win-win relationship, kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Yeah, and that was a big, I would not have been able to get through that Walmart without it. There was no way.
That's awesome.
Like 22 grand to me at the time seemed like just a boatload of money.
Being 28 though, that's very impressive.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and then, as you get older, and I read a lot of books, man. I read hundreds and hundreds of books in my 20s, and I got to the point by my 30s where all the books had the same, you start seeing the patterns, and that's what that's what it is. That's what you got to work with. And you got to trust that more than you trust your thinking and your brain. You got to, that's an element of moving forward. And being uncomfortable it's not fun. You're different than everybody else around you. Mm-hmm. Everyone else that was 20, whatever, they were doing what they were doing. I have no idea what they were doing. Yeah. Because I was working. I just worked. Yep, that's all I did.
It kind of comes down to focus. Like what you focus on will grow.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But what you resist will persist.
Yep.
Like if you think you're broke, you're going to continue to run into reasons why you're broke versus like thinking of the guy who's already there, who's already at the 10 million, who's already at the 20 million, and allows that to, by faith, like you're saying.
Yeah, bringing principles, and that's another faith thing, in my opinion. Bringing principles and values into your company, and that's what makes your decisions in spite of your bank account.
Right.
Or that's on like if your bank account's kind of lean, it works. And then when your bank account's not lean, you still do those principles. You're not wasteful. You're not ego buying. Mm-hmm. You're not. I know when I was young, I fell into the trap of the identity thing. Like I kind of in my mind became who other people thought I was.
Interesting.
And so I that was a difficult time when I realized that, and getting out of that was difficult. But that was crucial. Now, like I'm free and clear, man. Like the business is out there. Like the dream and the goal's in here, but the business, that's not who I am. I'm just Joe. Nice. And I don't need to be nobody. You don't, because that's a trap.
I like that.
Yeah. Because that'll keep you broke. It'll keep you, it'll make you play the hero, the concrete hero. Mm. Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. The line of people who will be there for you to do things for them for free or at a cost way lower than you should be is never ending line. And that's great. If you want to do people favors, do favors, but don't start a business. Right. Because business is business. Yep. And there's nobody out there that's worried about me, or any business owner. Nobody's out there worried about you. Like, what's life going to be like for you between 65 and 85? Nobody cares. Like, that's your job. That's my job.
Take care of future you.
Yeah. Yep.
Very important.
And that's good. That's like, that's like integrity, discipline. Mm-hmm. Meditating, getting a mental picture of yourself when you're older. Yep. And looking back, like I'm constantly maintaining a pliable perspective, like, because that's really what growth is. And your business is not going to grow even a centimeter faster than you grow as a person, for whatever that means. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing.
That's fair.
Like your business is going to grow as you grow.
Yeah.
So if you focus on growing yourself and seeing yourself, understanding yourself, just being honest, taking inventory on a daily basis. Yep. Like, if you're saying stuff or doing stuff or not doing stuff, and then just rolling with constant imperfection. Like, that's the thing. When you're a business owner, you have so many roles that you have to be able to move forward. That's a book called The 4 Agreements. One of the agreements is do your best. Yep. Now, like, I like to do the best. I like to be excellent. Like, you have to have a standard of excellent. But as a business owner, you're doing so many things that a lot of times you're kind of half-assing everything.
That's fair.
And you're not getting great ego feedback because all you know about is all the things that you wish you would have done better or wish you could have done better, but you can't.
Yeah.
Your job's to move forward.
Right.
And then as you get the resources and the success that you're after, then you can backfill those. And that's where you invite other people into your business. And you know exactly how you want to execute at this, but you literally have 15, like literally have 15 other roles, right? So you come down to that one role, and now you get it executed at an excellent level.
Yep.
And then when that person's trained and they have it easy, you say, hey, listen, there's this other role. I think when in my mind, I combine these two, and this is how I tie them together. I think you could do both of these. It would be worth more to me, and I'd be willing to pay you X amount.
Right.
You know, and so because you have to get people to execute in a way that you know works.
To buy into your vision, right?
Yeah, and because that's really what a company is. A business is I mean, from a small solo entrepreneur up, like I had 25 guys in the field, and who I was stopped at me. And that's why I pulled way back, and then I re-engaged later, like 3-4 years later. I started re-engaging 4 or 5 years ago, and now that is my standard. I will not grow. Natural growth isn't just hiring more people. It's grow. The company has to. I have to learn from from my mistakes. And implement my processes that have shown me my entire life. This works, do this. And if I can scale that, then I should be able to expect success. And I've seen that being the key. That's the key. Like, this is the way we do it. I'm not looking for anyone to rescue me. I'm not looking for something I don't have. I'm looking to do more of what I'm doing that works.
Right.
So, and that clarifies and dictates who you hire, who you don't hire, how you manage, the clients that you accept, the clients you don't accept. You know, it all gets real clear. And it takes a while to figure that out. I mean, unless you are lucky, and we talked about that briefly earlier, if you can fall in with somebody like via proximity that can take care of that part for you, or maybe it's just a family member or a friend or a friend's father or whatever. I didn't have that. I had to learn the hard way. A lot of suffering, you know.
But it seems like you figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, and now it's just sticking to those principles and letting it, because it happens slow. You've heard it on Instagram or whatever. It happens slow until it happens fast. Like, growth is not linear. Nothing's linear.
Right.
You'll go along, and then you get one of these.
Yeah.
And so I got going along, and I got bored, and because I can estimate work, I created this.
Nice.
So what I'm trying to discipline myself to do now, and it's hard, because I could go out and in 3 months from today, literally hit my 5-year target.
Nice.
Just by work that I bid. But I don't want to create that. I want to create a business that creates that.
Right on.
See what I mean? You spike up, and then you float up here. And the cool thing about that, another thing I've learned in business, this part right here is really hard. But if you just put your head down and do your best, it's going to plateau. But it'll stay there, and you'll do it again. You guys got to get through these things.
Kind of like the stock market.
Yeah, the hockey stick. You got to get through the hockey stick, right? And then it consolidates. And now that's the new you. That's your new baseline.
Yeah,
that's how you take a company from from a few 100,000 to $1 million, 2.5. We'll probably do 4-ish. And and I don't need to consolidate. I don't need to consolidate at 4. I don't know where my consolidation point will come, but it'll be somewhere between 4 and 6 most likely.
Nice.
But I'm trying to build now based on my previous experience and exposure. I'm trying to build something that will let me plateau later. So I'd rather plateau around 6-7 million, because that's a whole different game. A whole different game than a $2 million concrete business. And
that's fair.
I mean, it's just, you've got, at that point, you can create a company that's the best place to work, and it's offering the best quality. You got the best processes, systems, standards, quality control, culture, that's where it's at. That's what the most successful companies do. And I'm just trying to implement that in my own.
And you brought up values. Like, what are some of those core values that you believe with your guys, with your crew, how you run your company, that have helped you?
Yeah, so I try to keep a real human value. I try to be authentic and real.
Okay.
And It's kind of like an extreme example would be if you're driving down the road on a 25 mile an hour street and a 7-year-old kid pulls out in front of you on a bike and you hit him, you run into him, and you stop and you call the police and the ambulance comes, and turns out it broke their leg. Okay, now same scenario, you're driving down a 25 mile an hour road and a kid pulls out in front of you and you hit him, and then you back up and pull around and take off. Now, like, one of them is going to send you to prison.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's the same thing. So bring that back to business. Okay, so let's say we're at a homeowner's house, and we bump into the side of their house and we dent it to their steel building, and we dent it.
Yep.
Now, if you go up to the homeowner and say, "Hey, I was coming around this and I was carrying this on the machine and I hit this," it's no big deal. But if you just leave and don't say anything, they might not notice it for a month and a half. But at the end of the day, you're victimizing this person.
Yeah.
To me, that's extreme. Like I would never do that. So back to your question, like the values is you treat other people the way you want to be treated, and you respect their property.
The golden rule.
The golden rule. And I think that's the thing in the concrete business. If you have employees that have never owned anything, sometimes it's hard to communicate that idea, because a lot of the people we work for, they might have been planning the project that we're doing for them for years.
Right.
Like they went without to get it.
Yep.
So I just approach it as with a high level of humanness, understanding, compassion. So that's a big one. Some of them are simple, like do what you say you're going to do.
Yep.
Like taking ownership. It's that's where we place the value in the company. The people who make great money that work for me, they're taking ownership. Those things are important. Basically, what you're trying to do as an owner, you're trying to multiply yourself in a way. The other thing with concrete, it's there for not forever, but the lifespan's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
60, if you just leave it there, it could be there for well over 100 years. And like a cement finisher, for instance, the guy finishing it, like that's the last thing that is going to be done to that, and you have to kind of get into your work. You have to be kind of a creative person. You have to care about what you do.
Right.
Like those are the values. And it's not just about coming to work and making money, and it's about being creative and doing great work.
You said you love to do concrete, and I think that helps, give the homeowner a good quality product.
Yeah.
Or the commercial.
And that's the guys I look to hire. Guys that love pouring concrete. It's it's different. It's, to me anyway, it's special.
Animal.
Yeah. And guys that love doing it are great at it. And then one of the hard parts as an owner is setting that down. Like I'm absolutely completely comfortable in that world.
Yep.
And setting it down to do the things that need to be done in order to help the business grow it's difficult. Right. Or sometimes you're in that situation in the field and you have so many things going on that you can't be there, and that's really unsettling. For me, I get a lot of anxiety when I can't be present for what's going on. That's fair. What I mean?
Yep.
So that's another key value in the company is when I hire people, what I'm really hiring is their attention and their focus. I'm leveraging them for that because at different times, depending on what's going on, I can't offer it myself. Right. Somebody needs to offer it. Somebody that really cares needs to offer it. That's where all the value comes from. That's where quality work comes from, is somebody that feels valued, feels like they're making a worthwhile contribution. When they wake up in the morning, they feel a sense of purpose.
Yep. Very important stuff.
It's cool as an employer, as a business owner, to offer that to people. Right. I'm really grateful for that because I look around, you see people with poor mental health, and that's always a part of it. They just lack a sense of purpose. They don't have a goal. Like I can't imagine living without that. Like it would ruin me.
It's what really drives a human being.
Yeah, especially males.
Yeah.
I really believe, if you kind of use your imagination and you take a group of 4 or 5 guys and you just drop them in the woods, they're going to start doing shit.
Yep.
They're going to start making shit.
Hunting.
They're going to start, absolutely. They're going to be like, I'm getting hungry, and they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, we're made to do things.
Yep.
We're made to improve things.
Right.
I mean, it's a neat thought is like, if you know someone that's 80 years old, most of us do, you take 3 or 4 of them and you go back 250, 300, we're coming up on a birthday right now for our country.
Yep.
It was all a prairie. Just 3 or 4 of them ago.
Yeah.
When we walk around like we live in this static world, it's literally being created every day.
Yeah.
And we get to play, men or women too. I'm not, but I need to feel like, that's how, when I look at the world, that's what I see. Of course, I'm in construction. I'm actually out there making things that are changing the landscape of the world forever. But, it's in the world, we're living in an alive thing and a moving thing, and it's moving faster and faster all the time.
It is.
And it's kind of exciting. Go back to the, like we talk about outer space. Well, we're in outer space. We just call it outer space, and because we think we're the center of the universe. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're literally on some spinning planet.
A dot in the universe that's so big.
Yeah, yeah. And coming back to your thinking and the quantum physics and that, and it's powerful. The thinking is powerful. And there's a lot of opportunities in the world today to really think in an unproductive way. Like, you know what I mean? There's all this stuff grabbing for your
cheap dopamine
online. Yeah, come over here, think like us.
Drugs, alcohol,
yeah,
all that stuff. Yeah.
And I think meaningful goal and making slight progress toward it on a daily and weekly basis. Like, I think that's the healthy, like that's what we're made for. Back to the being thrown in the woods thing. Each time we make the fire, we're going to get dopamine from that.
Yep.
We get our food, we're going to get, having meaningful, and we all get to decide what that means to us.
Yep.
If you want to be you get to be who you want to be. You got one life.
Yeah, make the most of it.
Yeah.
But it's like going back to it to where, how our brains developed. It started with the reptilian brain, then the mammalian.
Yep.
And then our prefrontal thinking brain was the last part that developed and, took over to where it's like we still have that animal in us. He's there. He's thousands of years old.
Yeah.
And it's like he still needs that part in reality to feel alive and to feel like he's got that sense of purpose. And I think there's a lot of lies that can be told on social media, a lot of cheap dopamine, but it's, getting back to those root sources of who we once were that continue to make us feel alive, which I believe is also very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that it can be a benefit. I mean, self-awareness, the access to information. Part of leadership is having enough empathy and self-awareness to put yourself in another person's shoes and appreciate the perspective of all the players involved. The homeowner, the employees, the project managers, and essentially in business anyway, you're moving that whole thing forward.
Yep.
Because to be successful, it's got to be a shared experience. And
that's the way that I look at it with marketing. It's like, okay, cool, I'm in Minnesota, you're in Michigan, and it's like I can help connect you with the right types of homeowners that are looking to spend, a little bit more premium quality for a higher quality outcome, and you get to help them. We get the dopamine of seeing you guys win, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah,
that.
No, I like that too. Like like engaging with other, and I've engaged with a lot of them because I'm just naturally a curious person. And when I was young, I trapped. I would trap. I live on we have ponds and a river where I live.
Nice.
And I would trap mink and muskrat and beaver and raccoon, coyote, fox. And anyway, marketing. When I first learned about marketing, that's what it makes me think of, because like there's little animals and they go around the river and you look and you start thinking like an animal. Like you say, okay, well this little bugger, if I go here and I put this here, then he's gonna, and then it works out.
Yep.
And it's just this. It's not everybody agrees with trapping, but I think a lot of that is, marketing is it's communicating something in a seamless, authentic, and honest way, so that because there's what we say and there's what we put in print, but then more importantly, there's impressions that we create in the person looking at it.
Yep.
So then they take action on that impression, which it's all communication is all of it. It's not just, it's a lot, most of it's nonverbal. And so, then we show up and we further that, and then we come and do the work. And if it's all seamless, they reached out to get what they wanted. They perceive that you had the capacity and willingness to offer it, and then you show up and you offer it,
right?
And then that's what success is. And as far as that's what real marketing is. Successful marketing is a seamless, honest interaction, And I've as a business owner, I'm constantly marketed to, and very rarely does it play out. It's like for instance, if in my world, if I go and I tell someone, okay, I think we could do this and this and this, and we agree to it, and then I just don't do it, like I'd go to jail.
It's a problem.
Like I'd go to jail.
Yeah.
In my industry, you go to jail. Now, but I couldn't tell you the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've been through as a business owner for going on 30 years. If you look at Angie's, you look at all these promises that are made just all over the place. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like working with you is that you told me what you did, and I looked at it and I'm like, well, I wasn't doing that at the time. I dabbled in it. I didn't get any results, but I was pretty apparent that there was other people using it and it was working, especially in other industries. Honestly, I didn't know of anyone doing it in mine. On my social media feeds, I didn't see much of that. Of course I do now, because that's how it works. Now I'm into it, and it's it's been refreshing. You basically do what you say you're going to do. It's obviously there's some effort and an intention to improve. Like, you do that for a while and things get better.
Yeah, we've been blessed, man. 6 years coming up here in June of being in business. This is my first business, so it's fun to really run and grow it and expand it and understanding like everyone from my home little town did concrete, so it's like, okay, I kind of want to do something a little bit different. Came across the marketing, started, and here we are today. And it's just like what we see in value is like making sure like you like the results, making sure you like the way the marketing looks, making sure that we are starting to bring in those higher quality type of clients, because it's like with the algorithms, they're so good nowadays. We've seen those small little tweaks and changes that we made to where it's
recently. It's a game changer. Like, it's pretty cool to have a conversation, then a week later have the impact of that like on your phone. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is cool. And all it takes is, number one, the willingness to have the conversation, the desire to grow, and then I'm talking to somebody that has the desire to fulfill their obligation, and then boom, there you've got it.
And you talk about passion. I believe this is my passion, this is my calling, to where it's like, okay, I'm here to serve. How can we serve you as our trademark, not or like our company slogan, and then I like to stack on top of that the golden rule: do to others as you wish to be done to yourself. So I think that's
literally that simple.
Really aligns there, and it's
and that type of an attitude works because the world we live in changes, and if you're outward focused on how can I serve, you're kind of gonna keep pace with what the changes in the industry. Like the marketing industry is just ripping like. I was messing around with SEO back in 2005. And it was just a different world back then. We didn't have Facebook. And it in the future, marketing is going to be, it's going to get noisier and noisier. And I think branding, you're just starting to see like your ads. Obviously, you started to see the value in like inviting people into the actual concrete pour. Like it's, and then you hear over here about the live selling is going to happen. It's kind of the same thing. And that's where it's going. And you're right there with it. I mean, you got to try to get contractors to participate in it, which is different. And I mean, in the future, or even honestly now, if a concrete guy doesn't want to stack skills, if any business owner doesn't want to stack skills that include marketing, they're going to have like really good partners. that do that, or they're just not going to get found. The day of, oh yeah, word of mouth referrals. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't make a living like you and your buddy that helps you. I'm not saying that, but if you want to actually create a business that is offering extreme value in the marketplace, you got to stack skills, and marketing's got to be one of them.
And this brings me to the next point. You brought up a really good point a few weeks ago when we talked, and it's there's a big difference between a concrete company and a concrete guy.
Yeah.
To where like the concrete guy is probably just gonna have him and his buddy. I mean, you kind of want to go into that the way you see it too, because I think that's very interesting.
Well, I mean, it takes all kinds, and my job as an owner is to create the company that I want to create, that I think in the future, or now and in the future, will be relevant.
Yep.
And there's another guy that's been a concrete finisher for whatever, 5-10 years. And he thinks, well, I don't need a boss to do this. I don't need to work for someone else. I can do this on my own. Both are completely valid.
Yep.
And it's just my job to make sure that I'm not competing with that guy.
Right. You want the higher cash jobs, the higher cash margins.
Yeah, I want to do things that I can do with
quality.
my company.
Yep.
That he might not, he might not be able to do, nor does he need to do.
Right.
Because I mean, there's a sweet spot there, and his sweet spot's way different than mine, way different, and I got to kind of stay in my lane. I when I was young, I was competitive.
Yep.
And that's the only path. I was a runner in high school and college.
Nice.
If you want to win the race, you got to beat the other guy, right?
Yep.
That's how I approach business, and not an intelligent way to do business. Because if you approach the concrete industry that way, that's the only way to guarantee you will go out of business is to compete with the other guy. It's a race to the bottom, like
the worst race to be in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Especially it's hard work.
Yep.
Especially when you're doing everything. You're in the field. You're doing the quotes. You're doing. It's not a competitive sport. It's just not. You know. And it's there's certain things that I think young people and I think this because I was young and I did it. And I watch it around me constantly. Like there's things that we need. Like we all need different stuff. Like I needed a sense of adventure and challenge.
Yep.
So I did a Walmart Supercenter Sam's Club combo. And I distinctively remember I did it to see if I could do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome and it's also crazy. Like that's not business.
Yeah.
That's being, and it came out good. Thank God. I still have no idea how the hell that came out good. No idea. But now I'll climb mountains. I ran across the Grand Canyon. I climbed Mount Hood, and I climbed 14ers in Colorado.
That's awesome.
I go on adventures,
Yep.
I do different things for that because I need that, but I don't need to get it from business.
Right.
That's gambling and that's taking risks with other people's interests that you shouldn't be taking. I don't do that anymore.
Right.
I'm very, very conservative when it comes to concrete.
Nice.
I'm very confident from now and into the future. When I execute concrete projects, they're going to come out exactly like I intended.
Because you're stacking the deck like
I'm
what we talked about.
stacking the deck. Yep. I don't play around. I have a lot of respect for concrete, and that's the way to approach it.
So going into stacking the deck, like how would you describe that to the people watching?
To like concrete guys?
Yep.
Well, stacking the deck, you can do it from the beginning to the end. I'll just talk about concrete because everyone kind of will be on the same page with that. Number one, you can say, how big of a pour are you going to do?
Yep.
If you need to do a big pour, you can spend money for things that help with placement. You can have more people there than you need.
Yep.
You can have a couple plan Bs. You can have at least bulkhead material in case something happens.
Yep.
If you're going to be laser screeding a floor, you could have another laser screed there. I mean, if you have a network, maybe someone's got a screed that's not on a job that day.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'll give you $1,000 or $500 to bring that by,
just in case.
Right? Because and doing things like that, stacking the deck lowers the probability. Concrete's all probability, you know, and that's what stacking the deck to me is.
Yep.
It's like, okay, if we start pouring this at 4 a.m., I know what temperature it's going to be at this time. It's getting information and stacking the deck. If you want to, you know, some people like putting concrete down fast, which requires a certain strategy to finish it. Other people like putting it down slow, which requires a different strategy to finish it.
That's fair.
So you can look at what you have, look at what you know you have, because sometimes I have things that they have a potentiality, but I'm uncertain. Maybe maybe I brought in a few people that I've never worked with before. So I can stack the deck. I can come up with a pour plan on a bigger pour. It's unbelievable how many people don't do that. Like if you're pouring 20,000 foot and let's say it's got 4 500-foot edges, and you got 4 guys that you know are going to be your edge men, you could just say, hey, listen, you know, this is your priority of edging. Just draw it on a piece of paper. If you're under control, why don't you kind of help in this area? If yours is under control, that's your number 1 priority. You can help in this area. Just simply having a pour plan. There's all kinds of ways to stack the deck. Having buggies on site in case something happens. You know, we had a pump truck break one time. I had a gentleman on site that had another pump truck in his phone.
Nice.
That ended up showing up in 40 minutes.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it saved. It let us have a difficult day instead of having a catastrophic day, you know? Just, and then, you know, bringing that a step further, like when you're quoting work, you know, when you're bidding work, you ask yourself, you know, is this a job that we're looking to do? Are we qualified to do it? A lot of times when I was young, and now for that matter, I'm always looking for a project where 80 to 90% of it, I can spin that plate without thinking. Like I've done this project. I know that once we approach the project and start the project, we have what we need. But there's this other little part over here that's going to require some, you know, it's new.
Creativity.
Yeah, but every time you do that, you're a little bit different company when you come out of the back end of it. And usually I'm transparent about that. I like to be transparent on the front of, hey, listen, you know, we've done this, and this, very similar to this part. I'm a little green on this, but I'd like to do it. I had a couple questions, and you know, maybe they have to do with process, when they're going to happen in the job, what I'm actually responsible for, things like this, you know. But I mean, that's how you learn, you know. That makes me think of when I was young. I think young people in general tend to overestimate confidence. In confidence, the thing with confidence is it makes you approach something like you've done it before. And it really and truly you haven't. So I've learned when I approach a project now, I approach it with more vulnerability than I did when I was 25.
Interesting.
Because I've never done that job before. And but when you approach work that way, and customers and project managers and engineers and architects that you've never worked with, when you approach it with an openness and a curiosity instead of confidence, the job tends to run itself. And then as you move into it, you create momentum, and you know, and I know for a fact that the quality of our work and the predictability of it is just off the charts compared to I had a lot of manufactured crises when I was young. You know, a lot of drama, a lot of anxiety, you know what I mean? And that's not the way to do concrete. You know, it doesn't need to be that way.
I like that a lot. I like the idea of stacking the deck. I think with us, our thing is to stack the deck because we got clients all across the U.S. So it's like, okay, we know what's working here, here, and here. We can try it here, figure it out. We like to be very transparent on our website, have all the stuff very like open right there. You can read it, watch some of the videos, check it out. And then, I mean, just having the humility, I think what I got from that to be like, you know, we're seeing it work all over. I mean, are we going to guarantee that you're going to make $100 million? Probably not, just because it takes some time to build stuff like that out. And residential, I mean, isn't quite commercial, so the dollar amount isn't quite there. But it can be, because again, you know, what we're starting to notice is like, you speak to those customers with money, the higher quality. If you want to go after the luxury, you just got to realize you're not going to land every job, nor maybe you want to.
And you got to perform to that standard.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that comes with time.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds like you've been doing it for, you said 20 years?
Yeah, the tricky part in business is knowing when to walk through a door, Like I get invitations, I can create invitations.
Yep.
I can kind of go and do what I want.
Yeah.
But I got to look at the team I got, and I got to ask myself, is this a door I want to walk through?
Right.
With general contractors and project managers, some of those people, like we talked about earlier, if you walk through a door before you belong walking through it, you might not get that opportunity for another decade.
Right.
So that's something to think about. Again, I like to think about business and growth at the pace and the effort of an uphill walk. It's not a sword fight in a jungle.
Yep.
It's an uphill walk.
Right.
Because you can sustain that.
Yeah.
And if you get in a spot, you're not so far over your skis where you're going to go out of business.
Yep.
You can just stop and rest for a minute.
Right.
Buying things I've been through that twice now where I've kind of pulled back and then re-engaged, and the pace at which you buy things, because money, the money in your bank, most of it's not profit. And so you got to figure that out.
Yep.
Adding financial stress to management stress to stress on the site.
Yeah.
There's only so much stress that you can maintain and still grow at a healthy rate. So there's a pace to go.
Yeah.
And you got to find, and everyone's different.
Right.
Do you want outside money? Do you know what that feels like?
Yep.
Do you know what that pressure feels like? Do you want that in your life?
Right.
Do you want a $100 million company? Do you want a $10 million company?
Yep.
Do you want to make $300,000 or $400,000 a year?
Right.
Go find someone that does $300,000-$400,000 a year in sole proprietor revenue or income, and do that.
Right.
Figure out what you want. Because we're all different.
Yep.
We're all different.
I like that though. The uphill walk versus the way I kind of see it too with some guys is like they're at the dog eat dog type of world. Where it's like eat or be eaten type of deal. To where again, I think that's the race to the bottom though.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not authentic. It's a horrible customer experience. It's really, really self-centric. You gotta think of all the parties involved.
Right.
And it's a service business.
Yep.
And service has nothing to do with concrete.
Right.
I mean, that's not even 10% of it, if you ask me. Like when you engage with another human being, they invite you on their property to do something that they've been looking to do. It's not about the concrete. It's about, business is really the way a person feels when they interact with you. Mm-hmm. It's what your business, it's the impact. That's with employees, and I've been all over the place. I mean, I'm the first to admit I've had some really, especially when I was younger, like I was it was probably in my late 20s, early 30s where I made a decision that when I acted or talked to someone in a way that I wasn't proud of, I was going to apologize.
Right on.
And it wasn't a month or two of apologizing, and my behavior changed.
Yep.
Because and my environment at work now is great, and it's better than anything I've ever experienced. I mean, it's all about what we're doing. I offer clarity. Really respectful work environment, but it also forces me to hire the right people. Mm-hmm. There's certain people I don't want to be associated with.
Yep.
I just and they don't want to be associated with me.
Right.
Like mediocre people hate me. Like
I love that.
And there's a bunch of them, and that's fine. I don't hate them. I just don't want to be associated with them.
Yep.
Just I don't. God didn't make me to walk around frustrated all day.
Right.
If I'm walking around frustrated all day, I got to make some decisions, mm-hmm. and I got to take care of business, and I try to keep that front of mind. If something, if something comes up and bothers me, that's on a Tuesday afternoon, that's fine. If it comes up and bothers me again on Thursday, then I have to stop and do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the osmosis thing. Like you can get there by the osmosis to where it's like if you're around positive people who are heading in the right direction, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
If you're around the negative, not positive types
Yeah.
of people, they're also going to suck you back into their environment, which is
Yeah. And as a business owner or as a marketer, I mean, it's not, and you run into a whole bunch of cynical business owners. I guarantee it because I've been there.
Yeah.
You come out of Angie's, you come out of these other people that say this and do that. And, we're talking $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. And that's a lot of money when you don't get any return. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it makes you cynical.
Yeah.
And you got to decide, you got to decide who you want to be around.
Yep.
It's like you might as well just, and with employees, again, it's the hiring decisions. Like I spend at least 2 to 3 months now to hire someone.
That's awesome.
And I just a few years ago I wasn't doing that because I get impatient. I want to go fast.
Yep.
So I'm going to hire, and then it's at the end of the day you're kind of starting all over because every penny you pay someone, what is this 2006? So every penny I paid people in 2005 that aren't in my company today was a complete waste of money. I invested that money in the wrong people for my company.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with those people.
Right.
Just they weren't right for where I was going. Mm-hmm. All that money, I get no return on it. It's like YOLO and 0-day expiration calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't happening. You ain't gonna get lucky. You're gonna pick the right people, and over time,
stop gambling.
Right. Don't gamble on people.
Yeah. Pick the right people. I heard a quote that said, "Hire slow, fire fast."
Yep.
And I think
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, the best time to get rid of to part ways with somebody is the first time you think of it. There's not one time that I've ever seen that be wrong. When I look back,
the subconscious knows.
Yeah. When you have a quiet idea, it's like this person. Another one I like is if you don't want to work with this person every day for the rest of your life, don't work with them for one day.
Interesting.
And I mean, yeah, when you're building a company, that's different. Like that, all this is my perspective. It's where I'm at.
Yep.
This isn't the end all be all.
Right.
And it's really important that everything that's coming out of my mouth today should be utter bullshit a year from now, because my company should be in a different right.
Yep.
So yeah, what I'm doing specifically right now is building a company with a core group of people.
Nice.
So I can add people that want to transact.
Yep.
Someone comes into my company, they're a qualified, skilled cement finisher. Mm-hmm. They want to come in and they want to spend time. They want to get paid handsomely for their time.
Yep.
And they're going to produce great work. Like that, I need a business to do that.
Yep.
And that's what I'm building right now.
That's awesome.
So these people I'm talking about right now it's building a core group. And it doesn't need to be a massive group.
Yep.
I mean, you look at some of these companies that are doing, 60, 80 million, there's only a group of 4 or 5 of them at the core.
Which is crazy.
Like, they're if you ever want to make a lot of money without going and starting your own business and suffering and going through all the uncertainty, and it's going to own you for a long period of time.
Yeah.
This isn't no 2 or 3 year thing.
Right.
The way you make a lot of money in any business is to help somebody else with a big vision, bring it to life.
I love that.
There's going to be some people that are going to make just a shit ton of money that are helping me bring my business to life, and
that's our goal here, man.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I got a lot of compassion. Like you were talking about the guys that, come off that cynical view. It's like I just try to lead with compassion because it's like I don't exactly know what they've been through. Just trying to connect with them at a, human standpoint.
Yeah.
And then it's like if they say no, it's just like, well, I mean, there must be a problem with that person just because, I believe that I can help anyone that would come to us, no matter where they are in the United States, one way or the other. I believe we can help them figure it out. And if it, for some odd reason, doesn't work out, like I'll happily give them their funds back if it came to be that bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of competing, like back to the cynical thing. As an owner, I can look at employees and they went to school, they watched the media they watched, they had the parents that told them the things they told them. You can't overcome that.
Right.
I can't overcome, like I'm looking for who's looking for me. Mm-hmm. And that's really, there's a lot of freedom in that. And I don't even know how to describe it, but when it happens, it clicks.
Yeah.
Like, yep, this guy gets it. Like, a lot of that stuff really does dictate your experience while you're here on earth. And I encourage every young person, anybody under the age of 40, especially anybody under the age of 30, to really look at how you look at the world and what you think of, the country you live in, the system that we work. Capitalism, you don't have to, in America, you don't even have to participate.
Yeah.
And you can live okay.
Yep.
But there is capitalism here, and you can. It's a real simple thing, We live in a country where you can bless another human being and get paid for it.
Yep.
2/3 of our economy is service-based.
Yeah.
And what that means, like logically, is that if you're not upper middle class, you're probably just selfish. You're probably just not doing enough stuff for other people.
Yeah.
That's Lou Holtz was a coach for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and I heard him speak when I was young.
Nice.
I was in my early 20s,
Yep.
and that's what he told. That's what he said from stage. And I'm like, you're right. And then from then on, if I help enough other people get what they want, I'll probably get what I want.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what I wanted.
Yep.
I just wanted more.
Right.
I was hungry. I wanted to, I wanted more, and that works. If I help enough, if I have 15, 20 employees that are making between, $60,000 and $150,000 a year, there's a good chance I'll be doing all right.
Yep.
You can't hire a bunch of people that have the mindset that they're going to come in and make me rich, because there's a lot of young people that think that. That's not the way it works.
Backwards.
No, it is backward. Yeah, I don't need anybody. I can go out and make $400,000 or $500,000 a year solo.
Yep.
I sat that down because I want to build something cool.
Yeah.
I want something to play with when I'm old.
Right.
I want to be optional. When I'm 70, if I want to go out and screed concrete or run a power trowel or finish edges, I want to be able to do that.
That's awesome.
If I want to help a salesman get over $150,000 a year and work with him for a month, ride around with him, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I just want something to mess with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the parable of the talents, right? There was one that was given 5, one that was given 3, and one that was given 1. And the one that had 1, he buried it. Yep. And the one that had 3 doubled it, and the one that had 5 also doubled it. And when Judgment Day came, it was, good job, faithful servants for those that doubled it. But the one that did not was the wicked servant. He should have just put it in the bank.
Yeah.
And allowed the small amount of interest to grow it. But
and I think another way that translates into growth is gratitude. Like if you be grateful for what you have.
Yep.
And because that's really, it's kind of like the car analogy. If you want a Lambo, you probably shouldn't get rid of what's a low-end car today? A Ford Focus.
Chevy Impala.
Yeah, you should probably keep the Impala to get to the car lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, be grateful for the Impala.
Yep.
Wash it, clean it, take care of it.
Yep.
And just living with a spirit of gratitude. It's hard too. It's because it's two competing ideas. You have reality and you have where you want to go.
Yeah.
And I'm very big on the picture of where I want to go is not where I'm at today. But I can't show up every day angry and ungrateful because I'm in a pretty cool spot.
Then it's going to work backwards.
Right.
Too, right.
You gotta, and that, again, back to the paradox, holding two competing ideas at the same time.
Yep.
Like, it's not perfect. Life's not perfect.
Right.
God's not going to send me perfect people that are just going to do it for me.
Yeah.
We're going to stumble and fumble, just like your business. Think about it. The last 6 years, you just keep stumbling and fumbling. But year 5.5, you're stumbling and it's each from a different place. And when you go down, you're just going down here. Then you're going to go up here. Then you just keep doing it. You just keep going and being grateful. To wake up with a sense of purpose and have something to do. Serve others, Yep.
Yeah. I heard this analogy too, to where it's like if you were to think of your life as a movie, right? You're the main character, you're the star of the show. It's like if you watch any movie in today's day and age, if everything just went well, it would get boring. Right. To where it's like you need the chaos, you need the ups and downs to be very grateful for. When you get there. Yeah,
one of the things I try to do is, like, I get up in the morning and I don't usually do it audibly, but I wake up with a list sometimes. I wake up with a pressure. sometimes I just kind of like give that away. I give it to God, or somebody would give it to the universe.
Yep.
And then I just ask for the grace to do His will, to be kind, to be patient, to be present. And He knows the universe knows what I want. I'm committed.
Yep.
It's been a while that I've been committed.
Yeah.
So things are already unfolding. Some of them I'm aware of, some of them I'm not. Who knows? And then the idea when things happen that in my mind are against my intention. In other words, like the day just goes bad. Just, one of my first impressions now is, God showed me how to love this situation. Instead of whining and crying and feeling sorry for myself, a lot of times when things don't quite happen the way that I wanted them to, there's massive opportunity. Almost always, that's where the opportunity's at. That's where the growth is at, and the struggle.
Yep.
And those are the things that change, the way that I'm looking at things. And, that's how we grow. Not being so in love with your own little perspective and the rigidity of it.
Right.
Keep the vision, there, but the fumbling that's part of the game. It's like if in football, if every play was a touchdown, nobody would watch it.
It'd get boring, right?
You're right. Nobody would even watch it.
If Superman kicked everyone's ass, everyone would hate Superman.
Yeah.
But that's why they have kryptonite.
Yeah.
And I think you brought up a good point. So Napoleon Hill, if you know who that is, for those of you that don't know, he studied some of the richest, wealthiest, most successful people of like the Rockefeller and Carnegie's age. But he had a quote that said, every seed, and this was coming from those guys who are very successful, every seed of failure brings an equal, if not better, opportunity with it. You just got to train your mind to find that perspective within the context that you're living in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's where it's at. It's like it makes me think of frustration and how my relationship with it in the past. It changed a lot about a year ago. It's, and sometimes it's like, for me, like when I look at I'm not a great manager. I think I'm a better leader. In the work atmosphere, I'm what is categorized as a catalyst. I love momentum.
Yep.
And it's not a logical thing I do. It's just the way that I am. I'm a catalyst, and I come in and I get momentum going. And as soon as I feel momentum, I like to step back. There's another person that
interesting.
There's a name for it. There's a book about this. There's four essential ways that people show up with work. There's something about steady. There's someone that likes to see it through. There's a closer. There's a guy that likes to bring finality to the project. The book was it was about newspaper editing. It was about a publication. I think it was a big newspaper. Nice. But anyway, it was a great book. And I've known that I was a catalyst. I got that from a different book. I don't know the name of it, but I've known that since I was young. And
walk me through that. What does that mean to where it's like you're building momentum and then you step back?
Yeah, so I go in and I provide the big picture of what we're doing. And then I will get great. Like I spend time on site. I'll get it going in the right direction, and I'll usually get it off into someone else's hands. And of course, it's someone I have a relationship with, and then I can see efficiencies. I can watch what they're doing, and I can make it more efficient.
Nice.
Because it's obvious. And then we get that going, and then I step back, and then it rolls. Because you give people a task and give them some clarity of what we're looking to do. Maybe get it in a container of time. Like this is not like a 3-week thing. It's or a 2-day thing. Let's try to kind of get over to here this afternoon. And then so we can do this. I paint the picture.
Right.
Of where it's going and why they're doing it. And then I step back and let them do it. I have a couple guys that work for me that are more of the steady types.
Nice.
Then I have one guy that I would consider someone that likes to close. I get uneasy at the end of a project. It's like the closing part.
Interesting.
So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll create sometimes it's just a conversation, sometimes it's a text, sometimes it's in writing or something through Company Cam. I'll just create what needs to be done, what's critical for that job to be a success, and then I'll step back and let someone else do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I like working that way. in my team like, and you kind of figure that out. You know, the book called Personality Plus, the 5 Love Languages.
Oh, sure.
Those books are great.
Yep.
Like, and those have helped me be a better manager. But I tend to I like to lead. I like to offer what needs to be done and why it's important to the company.
Yep.
You know, what success looks like, and then step back. And I have people that are better managers than I am.
That's awesome.
Like, that are steady. They kind of show up. They're the same person every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I tend to be more entrepreneurial, which is just a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a fun one though.
Yeah, I like it. But, you know, it's not the best for, I got no business trying to manage things. I got no business doing it, because the manager, the people who work for you, the people that are dedicated, they show up every day and they work hard. They deserve to have that consistent feedback, objective, consistent feedback.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, and so.
It reminds me of knowing thyself. It seems like you know yourself, and I think that's one of the most best relationships you can grow, is to understand who you are.
Absolutely. And then, you know, as you get, for me anyway, as I've gotten older, I've gotten enough courage, or whatever it's called, to set those boundaries and standards. Like, hey, listen, people don't generally talk to me like that.
Right.
Yeah. And if it happened, you know, usually that's it. Usually, you know, all right, people calling you boss. I don't want to be called boss. I don't like that. You know, like, just let someone
Just a human.
know.
There's no title, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, younger people, sometimes when you try to offer them correction or try to help them be better, they are defensive toward it, you know. It's like, man, sometimes if you could get someone around that, you could help them grow so much faster. Right. But the best thing to do sometimes is for me not to just leave that guy alone for a while, you know.
That's their journey. That's what they signed up for. And you don't have to save everyone, right?
Yeah, like Jordan Peterson says, if someone isn't listening, stop talking. Like, that ends frustration right there.
Yeah. Just
that person's not where they need to be in order for you to work directly with them. Just don't do it. Like, put them over here. Are they still an asset to your company or not? Yep. You know, and it's hard. That's, you know, whereas maybe more of a manager type, he figures that out and like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just do that. For me, I struggle with that stuff. Because I see why something would work and the massive difference it would make to them and their family and the company. Right. And I'm like, man, it's right there. It's right in front of you. Let's get that. Yeah. Like, this is a big deal, you know. But when they think it's a big deal, you know, people do stuff in their own time, you know. And part of being an owner is creating an atmosphere or an ecosystem where, you know, growth, it's conducive to growth. Yep. You know, like, letting people know there's opportunity there. I got a young guy right now that, I mean, he's hungry, you know, and you can tell. Nice. Like, he's ready. He's ready for the next thing. And, you know, and then sometimes it's reps. Like, you just got to do it over. Some things you got to do over and over and over to become an expert. Right. And be good at it, you know. But I don't know. I love concrete. It's a neat industry. It'll teach you a lot about yourself and other people. And I don't know. I think it's cool. Creating a company where there's a drug and alcohol-free culture, that's been challenging. There's a lot of real eccentric drug-using cement finishers, especially. They got great talent and everything, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, the world has kind of moved away from that. Like, it's just not acceptable. Right. And so I'm trying to build a company that's ready to attract professional, career-minded people.
Why don't you go into that? Because I think, like, if we get the right people that are watching and they want to get in contact with you, like, what are you looking for if, say, they want to stop doing their concrete company and maybe partner up with you or work with you?
Well, I mean, I want people that are serious about adding value and growing professionally. The concrete is a great industry. Yep. You know, and this idea that some people get where, I mean, you know, it's not for everybody. Yeah. And I really feel that's why drugs and alcohol are so prevalent in concrete. I think there's a whole bunch of people in it that don't belong in it. And in order for them to be okay with it, they got to be high or go home and drink every night. Yeah. You know, and that's just, I don't want to be part of that. Right. I don't want to be associated with that shit. Because then it does. I do. And I've had people like that around. I feel like I'm their dope man. I'm the one paying them a couple grand a week. And then they're going out and spending $1,500 of it on I'm not doing that. I don't want to be part of that. That's me. That's my right. And that's no personal judgment. There's nothing personal about it. It's not like a moral thing for me. I could care less. I've dabbled with most of that stuff myself. I just, I don't want to be part of that. I had a guy come in and work for me, and we had a conversation, and I just bring it up. I'm like, listen, I get the sense that you've had some issue with either substances or booze. I've been sober for you. Oh, okay. That's cool, And then he came to, he's coming working for, I love pouring concrete with him.
Yeah.
And I like the guy. He's a real cool attitude, real light spirit. And I like that because sometimes my spirit is heavy, I try to keep that away from others, but it's kind of uplifting. But anyway, we were working out of town, and he was drinking and stuff. Got back into drinking, and I don't know, a month or two later on a Thursday night, he ran his truck into a tree.
Oh no!
The guy's he's mentally incapacitated, and so he's basically, he's got a closed head injury for the rest of his life. He was already you could tell alcohol took its toll already. So I ran into him. He was having a break from it, and then he comes into the company, and and that wasn't associated with work or anything, thank God.
Yep.
But I don't want to be part of that. I could go on and on about that stuff.
Yeah.
A bunch of dead guys, 3, 4, 5 of them. And I'm over it. Coming into any industry, especially the concrete, any trades, if you take it serious, you can make great money.
Right.
There's people that work for me that make more than the superintendent of our high school.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yep. That's the goal.
Yeah. It's good. It's great money. If you want to, it's just like any other thing. If you want to be in the top 1-2%, you're going to make bank.
Yeah.
You just are. And I think it's great work, but that's me. It doesn't mean it's going to be great for everybody. But if you like working with your hands, if you have a creative side to you, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it really is. I like it. I love concrete. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's been good. I again greatly appreciate you, meeting me here in Denver.
Yeah.
Joe's from Michigan.
Yep.
And if you want to add him on Facebook, he's probably on there. And is there anything else you would want to add in? We can probably wrap it up here.
No, stay safe, do good work, have a good time.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yep, you too.
And guys, remember, the number one reason why Concrete Two Cities is made possible, there's only one reason, and that reason is you.